Alright, so I am taking a look at yet another action camera. I really just like playing with these things a lot. This one comes in, see, right around the $75 mark at the time of this video. That may be a little on the high side. It doesn't really have any special features of any sort per se. Like some of the different ones, you can use them for like a dash camera type setup. They have a feature inside the actual menu for that type purpose. This doesn't have that, but overall it still works fairly well. It does have a nice little remote control included, so the price is actually, pretty close, within a few dollars, give or take, and it actually works fairly well. So basically you got the little box here. Just wanted to give you a quick look at that, give some of the specifications and such on the back, but it's covered over by this giant sticker they stuck on there. But yeah, it is what it is. Here's the different, you can't see it very well, but of course you have nice protective coatings over all your screens, always a good thing. You do have 2 batteries included with this, and the nice thing is, instead of 900, these are 1050 milliamp. You can find 1100 milliamp with charger for less than 20 bucks on Amazon. I have a set. They work great, so if you wanted to buy a set of those, you could. And they're pretty interchangeable with a lot of the different batteries that are available for a lot of the different action cameras that are all fairly similar. Recharge time is somewhere in the neighborhood of 2 to 3 hours. Run time is going to vary a lot. Just figured on about an hour, maybe up to an hour and a half, I guess. Really depends on your settings. I tend to run for about an hour and then switch batteries, but that's continuous, and it's going to vary depending on if you choose to use Wi-Fi or if you choose to not use Wi-Fi, what your timeouts are set as far as the power saving capabilities. If you're doing photos, if you're doing video, and if you're doing video, depending upon what resolutions and settings you're choosing. So there's a lot of factors, so that's going to vary quite a bit. This thing supports micro SD cards up to 128 gigabyte according to the documentation. I am just simply using the 32 because I have quite a lot. You can do 4K video, 2.4 and 1080, and the 4K is at 25 frames a second, 2.4 at 30, and the 1080 is at 60. So those are some nice options. You have a 170-degree field of view, but you don't get a major distortion fisheye look, which is really nice. There will be a link below. That's going to show both the Amazon link, so you can get some more details, order it if you want to, and you will also see a link for some video, raw, uncut video, running 4K, because that's primarily what I like to shoot with these cameras. And it came out fine. It looks good. Colors overall really good. So I'm really pleased with it. I didn't get a lot of issues stuttering and such. You get an assortment, as you can see here, of different mounting, charging. You have your manuals for both the camera and the actual remote. One thing I will say is the Easy iCam app works fine. It's a very nice app, universally compatible with the multitude of different cameras like this. However, it doesn't support 2.4 and above as far as the actual resolution, so you can't necessarily use it for those type things. One of the nice things about this, of course, is this remote. It's not waterproof, but it is splash proof, so that's a nice option. But you have both the video and the picture options, as you can see, and you can see it lights up depending upon what you press. So very nice. It's a nice little assortment of different things. I have a lot of different accessories, so I really don't have to even open any of these. One thing I will note, this is a generic rather than a 3M. There's no 3M branding on it, so I don't know exactly how well that's going to stick. I've had good luck with them in the past in both, so not overly concerned, but just something to make note of. Also, as you can see, they are round, not square, and there's no pass-through of any type, so you're not going to utilize those to mount to a tripod like some of the ones offer. You do have some different straps, so if you're going to be strapping the remote down, or if you need to make use of strapping these to a helmet, depending upon what you want to do, you can do so. You have your charger, of course, And again, like I said, a multitude of different clips. Your waterproof case. A couple of the specifics that may be important. .mov is the video file type, and JPEG for the images. You got about 50 feet is the claimed range for the remote that operates on the 2.4 gigahertz spectrum. The case does about 100 foot underwater. Unfortunately, I don't have the option to take this scuba diving, which I've done with some of the others. But the case, they work generally pretty well. No real issues or complaints. With the Wi-Fi app, really going to vary depending on your phone. They're claiming 30-foot range. Again, for me, I don't really use the Wi-Fi. It burns battery unnecessarily. You have the screen on the back which allows you to view and frame your shot, so that actually works really well, and so I don't have to use the Wi-Fi connection to deal with the telephone and the remote. Sometimes that's good. I'm generally fine with jumping out of the car because that's my primary use and just hitting the button, as you'll see in the video, well, to a degree. But if I do get far away from it, I'm only a couple of feet, so I've not had any connectivity issues of any sort. Other than that, not a whole lot else going on. Boot up time, shutdown time is quite quick and easy, so we'll fire that up. Of course, you have your shutter button on the top, and you have your mode button, so you can change the mode here, and then you have your navigation buttons. Also, this is going to be your Wi-Fi related buttons, which you'll see, of course, more in the manual. But as you can see, I'm running 4K, so you can also see that the latest video was right at an hour, and you can see the battery is still fine. So, like I said, at least an hour easily. Sometimes the battery on these, it varies with the battery over time. So that's why I generally just shoot for an hour, hour and a half max. Sometimes it'll get down a little bit and then sort of drop rapidly. So, by any means, we'll push the front button to change our different modes from video to image. We have different time-lapse and burst photo modes available, options of that nature, and then we have our options menu. Of course, the top button is our select, or again, shutter button. You can hit that and that top button, and you can change different things. You can see here 30 frames, 60 frames, 1080. So just a few of the options. Go ahead and hit that button to back out, and I'm just going to run through the menu options so you can see what's available. Looping video, timestamp, exposure, photo resolution. We're running 12 megapixel. Yeah, 12 megapixel. So I'll throw a few images in and give you an idea of what to expect from that, hopefully. Your burst photo, your time lapse, your continuous lapse, power frequency, language, date and time, sound indicator, upside down. Of course, if you're going to mount this from, say, your sunroof in the car, that's a nice option to have. Your different screensavers and power saving modes, format your SD card, you can reset to factory default, and look at the version information. So again, fairly straightforward, simple, easy to navigate. We're on the top here, so I'm going to select, and that puts us back at the video menu. So as I overall, simple to use. Of course, you can deal with timestamp if you want, or if you don't, and basically just, let's say, make whatever adjustments that you like very easily, and I think very simple. So overall, pretty nice camera. Battery compartment on the bottom, very easy to open and close. Again, navigation and Wi-Fi related buttons here on the side. You've got your indicator and your select or shutter button, mode and power, of course your lens, and you have your different inputs, SD, charging, and I believe your HDMI. So if you're going to hook that up, you can. But overall, very easy. There's also, of course, microphone and speaker little ports and everything on this. One thing you will notice, of course, is inside of the case, it will be considerably muffled, but there is a case here that is a full waterproof case, and that's going to muffle it more than the side door that's included that has these little slots. That's going to give you a little bit more noise. Right now I used the waterproof case that's entirely enclosed, so wind noise you're going to notice is pretty substantial. Maximum speeds between 80-85 miles an hour. Usually gets quite noisy after you start getting up in speed a little bit, but overall pretty nice camera. I kind of want the video and the image to kind of speak for the quality and what you might expect, so check those out. But other than that, I just want to kind of give you an overview of what to expect in terms of what you'll get included. And again, let's say your battery life and usage may vary, but let's say expect at least about an hour. If you start doing continuous recording, the highest resolution, you have the Wi-Fi, you're going to burn up battery at a different rate. So let's say expect maybe an hour and a half possible, but I don't expect much after that generally, and I generally don't record past that. I change out once I start reaching that area. The files do get broken down and separated. I believe I generally don't shoot very long video with this. I have other cameras that I prefer to do that more because I can turn it into a car type cam, plug it in and power it and put it in the car mode. So other than that, I don't have a whole lot else to say about it. Pretty nice camera with some nice options. The remote is particularly useful for a lot of people. And let's say let the video and the images speak for the quality. The drive to and from church, you will notice not the greatest in terms of the image quality, and I think that is mostly related to the light because it was very bright today, a very warm day with the sunshine, and I think that caused some distortion. It may be related to the case, but I tend to leave the camera in the case because it's just faster and easier when I'm dealing with using it for video in the car, around the car, and car related stuff. So your images are going to be shown with it in the case, since that would be my primary use. So while not the maybe perfect review that gives you all the details, this is kind of just what I use it for, how I use it. So it specifically pertains to me, but hopefully gives you a little bit of an overview and an idea of what to expect. Okay, so with that said, that's pretty much it. Thank you, and check out the links below for more information. Hopefully you'll find that helpful in some way. Okay, thanks.